Hi, I'm Delso, and this is probability. Probability is the odds of something happening. Does something just randomly happen by chance, or is it something that's abnormal? And that's what scientists tend to study. They want to know two things. One, is this normal? Should it happen just if nothing was done to it? No scientific treatments? Or is there a treatment or something that we are doing that's causing a change? And that's the basis of science. So we need to talk about probability. Probability is the chances of or odds of something happening. Now, all probabilities fall between 0 and 1. If there is no chance of something happening, the odds of it are 0. The probability is 0 because it can't happen. If you have a two-headed coin, the odds of rolling or flipping a tail are 0 out of 1 because it's not possible. But also with that two-headed coin, the odds of flipping a head are 1 out of 1. It's going to happen every time because that's the only possibility that there is. So 0 is no chance of happening, and 1 it's going to occur every time. The sum of, and that's this uppercase sigma, that's a Greek letter, the sum of all the possibilities will always equal 1. They're listed in fractions, like it's a 1 out of 6 chance, 1 out of 36 chance, 1 out of 2 chance if you're flipping a normal coin with a head and a tail on it. To determine probability, you need to list all the possibilities for what you're studying and use fractions as we said. Remember, they must add up to 0. If we use our dice, if you're using one 6-sided die, what are the odds or the probability of rolling each number? So, I have a dice here. Hopefully you can see it. That's the 1. The little black spots are pips. If you look on the back of the 1, there's a 6. If you look on the back of the 4, there's a 3. And if you look on the back of the 2, there's a 5. Both sides add up to 7. So, when we're using 2 of these, the odds of rolling, well, we're using 1 right now. The odds of rolling a 1, which is this one, is 1 out of 6. There's 6 sides, only one of them has a 1 on there. For a 2, it's also 1 out of 6. A 3 is 1 out of 6. 4, 5, and 6, they're all 1 out of 6s. When you add up those 6 1/6, you get 6 out of 6 or 1. That means you have all the possibilities. Okay? Now, we complicate life a little bit and we start using 2 dice. What are the odds or the probability of rolling each possible number? Is it possible, and I've put a little graph here. On this side, it's the number of possibilities to roll that number with 2 dice. And this is the actual numbers down on the bottom. Okay? Can you roll a 1? There's a 1 right here. And if you notice, there's no way, because the lowest number you can roll is snake eyes. When you add those up, and that's how you play die, that's what the number is when you roll it, is 2. There's only one way to get 2 with 2 6-sided dice. Now, I take 1 die, and to find all the possibilities, I leave this one at a 1. In this position, it was 1. And now I move this die 1 place to 2. So I have a 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2 is going to equal 3. However, that is different than a 2 and a 1. So 2 and a 1 is different than a 1 and a 2. And that's what we're showing right here. So there are 2 ways to roll a 3. If I continue down this side, leaving this die at a 1, and I turn this one, I have 6 possibilities with this die remaining at 1. I now take this die and I put it to a 2. I have a 2 and a 1, which is a 3. We talked about that. 2 and a 2, that's a 4. 2 and a 3 is a 5. Then I change it to 4, 5, and 6. When I add them up, it runs from 3 to 8. I turn it to a 3. With the 1, I get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's all the possibilities with a 4. All of them with a 5, and all of them with a 6. When you do this and you look all the way around here, I have 6 in the column. I have 6 rows of 6, so 6 times 6 is 36. That's all the possibilities with 2 6-sided die. How do I know that? Here's how I know that. There's one way to roll a 2. We talked about that. There are 2 ways to roll a 3, right here. And you start seeing these diagonals run through the data. A 4, which is right here, there are 3 ways. There's a 4, there's a 4, and there's a 4. So we get the diagonal that has 3. Now we move it and get 4. 5 ways to get a 6. And then the 2 corners of this square add up to 7. There are 6 different ways to get a 7 of the 36. We go to an 8. 8's here. It starts going back down to the other side of this square to a 12. The largest number you can roll are 2 6s, and that's a 12. So when I add all these up, notice at 2 it goes from 1 out of 36, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to get a 7. There's 5 ways to get an 8, 4 ways to get a 9, 3 10, 2 11s, and 1 12. I add all those up, I get 36 out of 36, and that equals 1. Something you'll notice when we graph these, if we take the top of this graph, this is just a histogram, these should be bars in here, and we start to connect the tops, we notice that we have this symmetrical curve that runs through the top of the data. That is the normal curve. This is one of the foundations of scientific study and research. And in a different lesson, we will talk about the normal curve and how that's used in scientific study. So, remember, probability is the chance of things happening. They all fall between 0 and 1. The sum of all of them will equal 1, and we are looking for things that are not quite normal or what we suspect, and that's what we study. Hope you had a good time. See you next round.